Hello and welcome to Are You Not Entertained? Today's podcast is all about the positives and negatives of law enforcement, the incorporation of AI to police work, and much, much more. Today we're joined with one of my closest friends. She is a police officer. She's been on the force for about 3 or 4 years now. She's going to remain off camera as she's calling into the show to protect her personal life and identity. So, me and my co-host Alexander Iskander are going to chat with her all things law enforcement, criminal justice. Hope you guys enjoy. Can you believe 10 weeks straight, dude? 10 weeks straight we haven't missed a week of this podcast.
I know.
Believe it or not.
Well, mostly you. I've missed a few weeks.
Well, Are You Not Entertained is still rolling weekly every Sunday, 5 a.m. I think I missed the 5 a.m. mark like once or twice, but consistently doing the damn thing. Today we're joined with our friend who is going to remain nameless. She's calling into the podcast to tell us all about her experiences as a police officer and all things like that, from crazy ass stories to AI involvement in the police force. So, do you not want me to say your name, I guess?
You can call me. You don't have to say my name.
Should we come up with like an alias or something?
Nah, you could just refer to me. Like, I'm right here, so it doesn't really matter. You can hear my voice. You could just call me by my name, so, if you need to.
Policewoman 1.
Policewoman.
No, I get it. You want to protect your... I get that. Have you ever had anything like that where people find out your Instagram or your private kind of your information? And
I hear stories about that sometimes. Like lots of my friends are police officers, and they're like very
cautious
about that.
That's why this house that me and Alexandra just bought is blacked out on Google Maps, Google Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, a police officer used to live here.
Oh. Okay.
So the house is actually blurred out. So have you experienced anything like that? Police officer number one?
I didn't see the maps.
When I first began in my career, yes. I would, like, especially the kids I dealt with where I was working, they would go out of their way and, like, try and look me up because, of course, my last name and name is out there to read. I have to display my name. So, yeah, I have been recognized, too, out of off-duty, and I tried to avoid it, but I felt bad. It was actually a really good interaction, though.
It was a good interaction?
Yeah, it was. So it wasn't social media based, but like it was, someone that you constantly had to deal with, someone I kept arresting, and you know what?
Juvenile or
no. This was a separate incident. I just kind of went off the rails, but this was separate. I've actually been recognized out of work. So we stopped dealing with this person after a certain amount of time. And I don't know, hopefully, because eventually you send them to jail for their actions. And clearly this person had drug use. So I was like at one of the shopping centers, and I was just waiting in the by the side of the store waiting for my mom to get out. And I see the guy or the person walking up to me, and I'm like, oh no. And it's like raining out, so I'm like trying to, like, maybe he doesn't see me, I don't know if he knows who I am, so whatever, he ends up coming up to me, and he's like rolled down the window, and he's like all happy, and he's like, ma'am, like, I God bless you, thank you for everything you've done for me, like, I really appreciate everything, like, I've been trying to do good. So we had a conversation, and I just, like, wanted to see how he was doing, and he was doing well. I mean, he was trying to get back on his feet, but looking for a job, but knock on wood, I've yet to see this guy in any sort of negative environment since. When I did see him, he was, like, maybe at a bus stop, but...
So you busted the guy multiple times, and then in a public setting, he thanks you. Mm-hmm. I can't help but think if, you had the opposite interaction with somebody who you busted and they act out of anger or hatred towards you for busting them.
And I'm sure that could happen. There's no doubt. I have also seen people out in public And I thank God, like, they didn't recognize me, but I tried to avoid them. And I was like, because I know it was never a negative, it was never a positive contact for them, at least, just because they're doing something wrong, right? So I have to address that. And like, it's like, don't shoot the messenger. Like, I'm just doing my job. And
so they understand that.
Sometimes they don't.
What is it? Like 5 times out of 10 they understand? 50,
yeah, I would say it's
50-50?
Honestly, in today's world, it's usually a 3 out of 10.
Really?
I mean,
so this interaction was a good interaction. It's very rare.
No, I meant opposite. Like, usually they're pissed at me.
Right.
A lot of the people are just angry.
Saying,
yeah.
Like, the good interaction you had is very rare.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it still happens. There is a lot of reward to my job, but there is a lot of downfalls where you're just like, why am I constantly being demeaned? Like, I'm just doing my job. And sometimes people don't realize that, like, they do realize they're in the wrong, but they just want to fight it. Because especially, look at the media today. A lot of people do not take accountability for their actions. Because they never want to take responsibility. And that's the main issue in today's society, especially in my career. Like, people never want to take accountability. Like, even if it's a minor infraction that I stopped you for, or that I had to gig you on, like, people still give you the disrespect, asking, like, is it really that big of a deal? Like, what did I do wrong? You know, it's just, sometimes it's very draining, and you're like, never can I, like, one day you'll have good interactions, one day you'll have all bad interactions, and it's just draining.
It's really interesting because there's a lot of psychology involved there. It's like, these people know they're doing wrong, but it's almost like they can't help but do it. Do you find that a lot in your experience as a police officer, where people are doing wrong consistently? Like you mentioned, you busted that guy multiple times, but you continue to bust them and they continue to do bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like this one-track mind, right? I mean, I guess this is like a two-parter. Is that like nature versus nurture? Is this like what they've been growing up around? Or is this just like the way their brain's wired?
From what I've learned is that people will, most of the time, they won't change. They have to want to change. Mm-hmm. And you know how many times I've dealt with drug addicts or people like that. Like, I try to give them a talk sometimes. Like, listen, like, have you tried to get help? We have services we offer them. But most of the time, if they don't want help, they're not going to get it. I'm telling you, like, 8 times out of 10, they never want the help. It's just they want to continue on that path. And you can't change these people's minds sometimes. Sometimes I have had positive impacts on people, like I said, that guy, and then just trying to give them that help, or trying to give back, or making them help out with our detectives and stuff. So, like, sometimes it does, but a lot of the time, people are just, they just want to do what they want to do. They don't want the help.
One thing that, like, really that I can't wrap my mind around, and this is going, like, to the drug things, is, like, just how, like, strong some of these, like, drug addictions can be. I've had drugs affect, you know, my family, and to the point where people, like, are willing to lose their kids, right? And, like, even furthermore, like, people die,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, during an OD. Like, I can't fathom, and maybe it's because I've never done, like, heroin or anything, but I can't fathom, like, wanting something that bad that I would just destroy my entire life for it. But, I mean, I'm glad I don't understand that at the same time, because that would mean I'm, like, addicted, right?
Drug addictions are very powerful. I've seen kids being taken away out of homes. I've had to physically take kids out of their homes because the parent was not physically and mentally able to take care of that child. And it's scary, especially to see what environment they were growing up in, to look in these houses, I'm like, how are you growing up in this house and in this environment? How are you raising a child? That's unfair to that child. Mm-hmm. And good thing we have like counseling, and we have DCPMP, which is like they care for the children if they're in unsafe environments or homes. So good thing we have services like that to come take these children or follow up on these children, because sometimes they just get lost in the system, or they get or their parents never follow up with them or refuse to have DCP&P help out. So sometimes the kids are doomed.
Yeah.
Till they actually grow up in their mind to figure out which path they want to take. But it's unfortunate that sometimes they grow up in these environments where they're surrounded by crime, they're surrounded by drugs, so they just grow up in it and that's all they know. So their brains don't fully develop or function.
So then are they doomed to repeat the cycle? Is that basically what you're saying?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. Not necessarily, like I said, if they're grown up, they can make the right choices, but they are 10 times more likely to make worse choices. I mean, like I'm not throwing out facts here. There's nothing I can provide to prove this, but if you look it up online, most likely they're more likely to have it happen to them, right? So,
true.
but there are also people that have grown up in really good families that have gone off the deep end. So, I mean, at the end of the day, drugs do affect people, and a lot of the times we're arresting these people that are on drugs, and their decisions on drugs is what caused them to be locked up, you know? So it really is, and they can't help themselves. They can't wait till they're released from jail or whatever to go back to that fiending.
It's crazy. I like weed is legal here in New Jersey. I've never seen a drug besides weed. I've never seen cocaine. I've never seen anything. If I looked at it, I wouldn't even be able to tell you what it was.
Oh, I guess that's a good thing.
It would probably look like a drug, like in a little bag.
I mean, sometimes we'll get like substances off of people, and I don't even know because there's so many. Like cocaine looks like fentanyl, and then crystal meth is you can't really tell. Like, oh, there's more granular. I can't even say the word, but it's more fine powder. Right. So you can't. It's hard to tell. You have to look it up online.
What's the amount of drugs that you've like actually recovered? Like, have you ever like, wow, this guy's like selling?
Yeah, did you ever catch like Walter White?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever catch Walter White?
No, but yes, I have gotten like distribution charges off of people. Like this was like for crack, I believe. Like there was multiple baggies of crack.
Yeah.
And so we had to charge them. So, yes, I've had, and these people are serious. Like, luckily they didn't have weapons, but a lot of the time they do have weapons, and there will be search warrants where they know that it's a thorough investigation, and they have been timing when they're doing cells out of their house or out of their car, wherever, and then they raid the house with SWAT, and then they'll get all that, all those substances, illegal narcotics, whatever they got in the house, and charge them.
Yeah.
But they have to build all that probable cause to eventually get that search warrant on the house. And mind you, you have months and months in between of doing all this, of surveillance, of this, that hopefully they don't get tipped off, you know? So you don't want your whole investigation to go to waste, because they are smarter than you think. So the good ones are smarter than you think. And you have to be careful.
So I read something, it said that crime rates go down when there is a global or a nationwide catastrophe. So, like the U.S. getting involved overseas in the Middle East, and you know, getting involved with Iran and Israel, and that seems to take over the nationwide zeitgeist. Do you see that on the street level, like crime rates or just like low-level crimes, things like that, kind of stop for a period of time, or is there nothing to that?
I mean, if that's like factual, but like I haven't personally experienced that. I couldn't tell you. I haven't been probably long enough on the career to see that crime rate has gone down from a global catastrophe. I haven't seen that. Maybe like weather-like from that type of catastrophe, yes. Like usually if the weather's bad out, crime is not as pertinent.
Right.
That is true from my observations. But Other than that, I don't know if that is true or not. I mean, I couldn't tell you.
Right. So what are you, 3 years on the force now?
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years?
3,
Man,
4,
what made
4
you
years.
want to become a police officer? I mean, I would have never seen that coming, knowing you from such a young age.
Yeah.
Really?
I definitely.
We were scared of
definitely
dogs, me and her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We couldn't even be in the same room as a dog without lifting our feet up off the floor.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, and I don't know,
We were
like,
both attacked by dogs at a young age, so
yeah, and it was just, I think as you mature too, you realize, like, you start getting out of that, your brain starts to develop. So it's different, but
there's something
I
to
understand.
the brain
Yeah.
developing.
And I understand where you're coming from with that. I think it was like, I was always interested in law. Like, I think I wanted to be a lawyer, right? But I didn't want to do all that schooling. I was like, I'm sick of all this schooling. Like, I'd rather I wanted to be a detective. I wanted to be in the work. I was so interested in it.
Because of your family, you think?
No. Like, it was just
involved in the law?
No.
No?
No, it was just mainly, like, I know my family members were cops and stuff,
Right.
but I never really took interest in them until later in life when I was trying to look for a job, which
Right.
was funny because I was more interested in the investigative side, right? But so I was like, maybe law, but then I didn't want to be a cop because it was like, you're putting your life on the line for like people you don't know, right? So you think
to that too.
yeah, and
Crazy.
I thought about it that way. I was like, well, I want to be a detective, but I have to be a cop. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I will like it. So I became a class 2, which is like a part-time cop. And then I really did like it, and I caught on quick. And there's still a lot I need to learn. You do not learn everything throughout your whole career. There are still things you always have to, especially case law changes every day. You have to, and the laws in our state is different from laws in every other state. So we have to specifically follow our laws, right? Besides like the basic constitution that we all follow. But I don't know. I just always felt interested. I always wanted a job that keeps me going, right? That's my personality. I don't like to just stay stagnant. That's not my
I know
thing.
you don't.
Yeah, even though like policing can be very stagnant, but you can get a shooting in 1 second that you have to like change your mind, and then you could go to a dead body call. You could go to this, like, or you have to talk someone off a ledge. You know, you have to be every single type of person on this job. You have to be professional. You have to be a counselor. You have to be a medical assistant. You got to be a mediator. It's not just drugs, guns, and being all tactical. It's not just that. I'm telling you, that's like 10% of the job. It's all just talking to people and figuring out how to figure out a situation.
It's almost
with
like
people.
customer service.
Yeah, I mean
That
that
makes a lot of sense.
that perfectly sets you up for this job
Because
too. I recommend
Me
that.
and her were also managers of AYNE.
Oh,
Yeah.
I worked there too. Not at any.
I know, the Lost Valley. Yeah, we talked about that in a previous pod. So what, I guess being a manager at AYNE set you up for being a police officer?
Yes and no. It really did help
It did,
my
right?
customer service skills, training skills. I'll tell you that. I trained people, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm training people. So I heard that.
I wonder if that picked up on the pod.
Oh, we'll have to see.
We'll have to do that with,
But-
and then we get the chiropractor on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another episode we're doing.
The chiropractor.
We have the police officer on now, we're having a chiropractor on another episode. Anyway, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
AYNE's training people.
Yeah. So like just talking to people and learning how to work at a quick pace or working under different types of leadership. It's just, you just have to learn how to communicate with people. That's the biggest thing in policing, is if you can't communicate, you're going to be a crappy cop.
I say like retail really helped me learn to talk to people.
Oh
Get
yeah.
comfortable talking to people.
I just suck at working for other people.
Yeah,
I have like an authority problem or something.
possibly.
I don't know.
So you'll see that there's ego clashes within our career everywhere.
Huh.
And it's not just our career, but it's going to be everywhere, like in different, even like medical fields or.
Like, what do you mean? So, like, there's ego clashes. So, like, what? Like, like a different district will come in and be like, this is your jurisdiction.
Not just
down,
like district,
officer.
like
Stuff like that, or
we have a chain of command, right? We have the basic patrolmen, we have corporals, we have sergeants, lieutenants, sergeant first. We don't have them in our department, but you have all these different ranks, just like the military, kind of. But and you have to follow their what they tell you to do. You can't just defy them,
right?
Unless it's immoral. Yes, you have to say something. If this is immoral, I'm not going to do that. Now that's a different situation where you need to be a better officer and you need to call them out on that, right? So that's where a lot of stuff happens in our career.
Question, is that something that's like encouraged?
Yeah. But then also you're gonna say something, now you're gonna be a tattletale, right? Now you're gonna be a rat. So even though that's very rare, like I haven't had that happen, but I'm just saying that has happened before in law enforcement.
Okay, so then you're basically putting like a tag on your back or something.
Well, that's why our whole curriculum in law enforcement has changed over the years, called ABLE and ICAT. You know, like you have to, like especially like George Floyd, like stuff like that. When you see something, you have to say something. You see that he has got his knee on his neck for that amount of time.
Happens where nobody says anything. Did you ever see the movie The Place Beyond the Pines? No. This is literally about what we're talking about right now, where there's this district of police officers, and they're basically dirty cops. Like 90% of them are dirty cops. And they're planting drugs on people. They're searching and seizing without any warrants. They're doing all sorts of things not by the book to get money for themselves. Like they'll find dirty money, instead of reporting it. Yeah. They'll take it for themselves and things. But the one new guy, kind of like you, who's only like 3 years on the force or whatever, the new guy, like, says something to the head honcho of the district or the department. And the head guy's like, you take that, like, don't, like, forget what you saw, like, you can't talk about that. We don't talk about that here. And then the guy basically says, like, you do something about this or I'm going to the news, and then you're going to have to do something. And so I guess I wonder how much that actually happens in real life, and there's no reform, and these departments just kind of do whatever. It's kind of like the Wild West.
It definitely happens. Like, more so back in the day when there's no body cameras, there's no... Right. It's... If it wasn't written down, it didn't happen.
I mean...
Yeah, but still, like, you can be clocked for that because there's surveillance cameras everywhere. Right. We have trackers in our radios. We have our cars. Like, it's too hard to get away with that stuff nowadays, too. You probably still can, but it's too difficult to do that nowadays compared to back then, because it was better to manipulate people because people were more scared to talk, even though, like, it's immoral anyway. I would never do that. No, like, I have never seen that in my department or in my career, at least. But I have heard stuff like that happen back in the day because, like I said, there's no cameras. If they didn't document it, then it didn't happen. They took the officer's word over that person's word, And now everything has changed, like, because they saw that corruption back in the day, And that corruption slowly started wheedling its way to the public eye, right? And people think there's a lot of people out there now that hate cops more than they did back in the day because they think a lot of us are corrupt, when that's not true.
So you think the advent of technology has made policing more efficient?
Yes, I think if you're a good cop, body cameras really save you. Like I said, I'm not perfect, right? But there are certain things that, they claimed this, but then they watch my body camera back and they're like, that never happened. Right. So it actually, it does more, less harm, like it's more good than bad,
So I remember you saying to me something offline that AI helped you solve a crime recently?
I mean, it helps. I've solved a few crimes with AI. Like, specifically, like, our system has a AI mug match, right? You put a picture of surveillance footage, right? You take a still shot, then you copy and paste that into our system, that mug match AI, and it will try to match the face to different mug shots or different DL photos that we have in our system. So I've actually used it, right? It's not credible yet, I'll tell you that. It just was made.
Oh, jeez.
There's been AI for years, though, with bigger agencies and stuff, but I haven't, patrol level, I haven't, I wasn't offered those.
So now it's more easily accessible to boots on the ground patrolmen.
Yes, it's more easily accessible to me now, so it, like I said, it's not credible, but I've used it to, like, I'll take a picture from a shoplifting of surveillance footage, I don't know who this person is, so I'll take that usually it should be better quality to figure it out, and I'll copy and paste it in the system. Then it'll give you a few different matches of who it might be, and then you have to I'll look through those people's like name jackets in our system to try and match like other photos to them, especially if you take pictures of tattoos. Be like, oh, he's got a tattoo on his right arm here, and they took a picture of his tattoo on his right arm here, so that's got to be him. I positively identified him through his existing mugshots in DL photos from my eye.
You identified it, but the AI brings up all the files and the people that likely it could be.
Through investigative means, I was able to positively identify.
So a lot of people are pushing back against AI. I know me and you both heard this, but basically AI isn't doing your job, it's aiding you. It's a tool in your tool bag rather than becoming the officer.
Yes. That completely true. I've seen people use AI as their only source of, like, for example, if you're doing a assignment and you're like, oh, do this assignment for me and then copy and paste it and post it. That's not how you should use it. I mean, like, I know a lot of people use it that way, but it should be more as a tool because you put your own story of like what you want, your ideas, and then it'll help you make your ideas into a better worded or college level
podcast like that was like our third
that was we had an AI coach. He would like coach teachers about the use of AI and how you use it, like exactly what you said, make your words more coherent, bounce ideas off of rather than copying and pasting.
More scholarly.
More scholarly. And it is your ideas, but basically put through a filter. It's like refinement. It's like kind of like checking your own work to a degree. But it's interesting to think that AI is going to get involved in upholding the law. How much time do you think needs to go by before we get a RoboCop kind of situation?
I see more of like a situation in law enforcement for at least where it's used as like a tool and aid for detection. Not so much, enforcement, right? So like detection of crimes, like flock cameras. Do you guys have flock cameras in your?
Like cameras that go around the city?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we do.
The flock cameras will, recognize certain cars or license plate or certain damage on cars, right?
So we call them we also have ALPR cameras that read license plates.
Yeah. But I think the big thing right now is there's a brand called Flock, right? And one of the biggest concerns with these, right, is it's this entire camera system that's connected throughout the entire United States, the Flock system, and they can very easily be hacked, right?
Jeez.
So like these AI, and these cameras are run off of AI, right? They have algorithms. They know where your car has been, right? They know. There's entire I went down YouTube rabbit holes for hours about this, right? But one of the biggest concerns is like this could be hacked by people, and like people can track you wherever you go. People can.
It could be used for evil.
So like one example is it misread a license plate, the Flock camera, and what happened was it came back as a stolen vehicle. And the guy, I forget where this happened, but the guy, I don't know what led to what, but he ended up being killed by the police that day because this camera got it wrong.
That sounds like science fiction.
This was like obviously a very
scary.
This is obviously like a very like one-off situation. I don't remember the exact details. It ended with him. It came back as like, this is a deadly criminal. Like, don't fuck around with this guy, you know. And for whatever reason, he ended up being shot. Right.
How often is your AI wrong?
It gets wrong. No, that's why I said it's not credible. That's why you have to investigate things further to make sure it's correct. That's why we have to word it certain ways in our reports to make it sound, because if I just said this person was positively identified via AI mug match, that could get thrown out in court because they're going to be like, how do you know it was right? How do you know that
Oh, jeez.
How do you know that?
So then would that make you not withhold that from your report then?
No, I put it in my report, but I say I utilized AI mug match and copied a photo of the surveillance footage into the mug match. I located a male matching the video footage. I looked further into his name jacket. I compared previous arrest photos with this photo, and I observed that he had previous police contacts. I was able to positively identify him through investigative means. Yeah. Right? It's not, you can't just say it was from that, because how do you know that was him then? How did that AI system know it was him? The only reason I word it in my reports is to build its credibility. Right? So say I do go to court for something like that,
or it's proven.
Yes, so it's just a tool. Like I said, it's a tool to help me figure it out, because I could also say, oh, he used this car, and then I was like, I tracked the car back down to the house he resides in. I looked up his name, and it says that he lives at that address, right? So now you have two factors pointing to that person being who it was, you know?
So then how long before it's no longer a tool and it's actually patrolling?
Well, you'll actually like this, because we do have a function on our body cameras that can translate what happens onto paper just by your video. I have yet to use it.
Definitely AI.
Yeah. I have yet to use it. I don't know how to use it yet. They're trying to incorporate it, but really? I'm scared to use it because you have to read it over. You have to make sure it's correct, right? I don't know how it is. I don't know how it acts.
Yeah, what if it glitches and it says the police officer then fuck the criminal?
Yeah.
You just taking down the guy and arresting him, you have him in full mount with their face down in the dirt, and the AI misreads it and says this police officer fucked
the criminal.
Fuck the criminal in the middle of Broad Street, broad daylight.
Yeah, so...
she could be so fucked up.
Exactly. It's not perfect, and it's not going to figure it out, because there's error in that.
There could be many errors with that.
Yeah, unless you go and...
Turns into a Sora AI.
You have to read it.
Crazy.
But I'm telling you, I have used AI to assist me with reports, right? To make it sound better why I charged this person with what I charged them with, right? They were acting disorderly, right? What is acting disorderly? Right, you have to explain it. They were acting disorderly because they were using multiple profanities, such as the word.
How do you train these AI models? I want to know. It's like you just said, disorderly. Well, you have to describe disorderly.
Yeah.
So in this AI model, you have to train this thing for years and years and years and years. I'd have to imagine, because disorderly could be so many different things, from pissing on somebody's lawn to punching somebody in the face to belligerently cursing out your neighbor.
Can you give a disorderly for someone cursing?
It depends. If they're in the comfort of their own home, who are they disorderly towards? Say there's 4 kids standing around watching them curse out me, then that's a different story. You're not going to act like that in front of me, in front of the public, in front of children that shouldn't be listening to this. Now that's when things change. Your environment changes how people can act, right? If you're in their house, they can curse, they can say whatever they want, right?
And it also changes the charge.
Yeah, there's not going to be a charge. You can curse me out. That's your freedom of speech, right? It's disrespectful and it's annoying, but you have every right to. Well, I can't stop you if you're in your own home.
Right, I hear that. So let me paint you this picture. So it's like 50 years in the future, and there is this kind of a robot. It looks like a life form, like like a human being.
A synth.
Yeah, something like that. It's like a sim. And, it's gone through the courts, and it is proven to be legal, and it's going to patrol the streets for you. And people, regular boots on the ground, police officers like yourself, class 2, is completely replaced. Are you happy or are you sad to hear that?
I'd be scared to hear that because technology is not perfect either.
But let me steelman the idea. So I'll play devil's advocate. It's like I can say that the AI is programmed and it has been trained for 20 years. It's been in training for 20 years or 10 years, this AI model. And it knows the law, every law inside and out, word for word, sentence for sentence, and it understands every law. Not every man can understand. Not every woman, any police officer could read every law and understand it inside and out. There's just not enough amount of time in each day to study it like that. So I would say that the AI is more capable to do your job than you are.
Well, here's the thing, right?
If I was arguing it.
The law, it's not about understanding the law, it's about interpretation.
And enforcing.
Yeah, it's about, so...
I'm saying that the AI, in this alternative future,
yeah,
I'm saying that the AI understands the law.
It's one thing to understand, but to interpret it correctly.
I'm saying that it interprets it correctly. Are you happy to see somebody not having to put their life on the line day to day like you're doing? Or are you sad to see that job has been fulfilled by a sentient robot?
I would, honestly, I think it'd be a better thing to see that taking the job because they can work 24/7 without
and then
without sleep,
without the fatigue, right?
And if it gets shot and killed,
then you repair it rather than losing a life, a human life.
Yes, but then also you
could get a Terminator malfunction or something, and then it's
exactly. So what kind of lawsuit would that be?
Exactly. That's where I'm going with this.
And then look at that type of lawsuit.
But I'm playing devil's advocate here, so I would just be like, no, it's all right, it's all right.
I wish, but I think our job is irreplaceable.
Okay.
I just don't think that's going to be practical.
Even in 50, 60 years from now.
I hope to see if
you do hope,
dude.
But I doubt that would ever work. There would just be too much.
Thinking about a crackhead arguing with a robot. Right
yeah, imagine.
I think that's coming.
Sometimes there's no getting to crackheads. Like you can't even talk to them. You just gotta get them the medical attention they need, or bring them to jail where they need to go.
Okay, so how about this one? So you said that you don't think robots are going to replace police officers. So how about we have, an AI unit rather than a canine unit, or in addition to a canine unit,
that would be more
right? Where you have an AI sit in your passenger seat and it's basically your deputy or it's your partner. You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, that would be cool, but I also think I can do that. I can use AI. I've used AI to assist me. Hey, AI.
I'm talking about a robot that's going to actually help you do a jiu-jitsu move on this guy.
That's just 10 times in the future, and I don't know how they're going to.
Just try and take your mind there. Would you like that? Would you?
Some guy comes up and he's got a gun at you,
and the AI
to get the hell out of the car and shoot
You go do this.
That's
right?
I'm gonna sit here and read a book.
That's what I mean.
Go shoot him. Yeah.
It might save your life. I don't know.
I would hope that would be ideal, but I'm just trying to think. I just don't think it would be. There would be so many things because you have to think. They also need emotion.
Now here's where this is going somewhere good.
Because being a police officer, do you know how you have to be very? You can deal with very sensitive situations sometimes. I've seen dead toddlers. I've seen things that the average human does not see. And that's something, and you need to be understanding of what's going on. You need to actually be able to talk to this person and be there for them. Even though that's technically not your job, but you gotta be...
So you're saying that if robots were to take over the everyday police officer job, you're saying that the AI has to be trained thoroughly with compassion.
Yeah, and the thing is, I feel like AI has done that. Like, they're starting to figure that out. They're like, oh, this is how you're feeling. Like, you can have a conversation. You can literally have a conversation with AI, and they can understand how you're feeling because it's that advanced.
Yeah, I get that.
And I think it's crazy.
AI like questions, it'll always preface what the answer is with.
Yeah.
Wow, that
and it knows your personality.
Frustrating. Well, it's always the questions I ask get answered with that.
Yeah.
That's frustrating. Imagine you're just asking your AI deputy, so what do you think we should do with this guy? He's like knocked out on the middle of the road. Well, that's unfortunate.
Because they need to
we
learn
have to pick him up off the ground.
Yeah, because they need to know how to learn to drive cars, do this, and it's just there's just so much liability that goes into that I just don't see it ever happening.
So you actually think that the AI would benefit from being trained with emotion? You don't think that would get in the way of the job?
Yeah, it would need to. I mean, I feel like it's already trained as much. It's just the fact that they need to physically make these models of, I guess, so you robots. You're saying
get in the way of the job?
Oh, they do.
Earlier, like the customer service is like 90% of the job.
So but what if the officer wasn't emotionally attached? Would they be able to police more efficiently?
Well, I mean, suicide rates are out of this world for cops, which is unfortunate.
Wouldn't this be a solution, perhaps?
It could. See, like, that's the benefits of AI, if this ever happened, was they're not real people. They're just robots. It's just technology.
Until they become real people.
Yeah, until they become, like... Because you already see these movies, and they're living in the future, and they're all bots.
That's a documentary, I think. The creator.
If I ever have like a
what makes it a real person?
Nothing.
Well, what makes us real?
Chemicals.
We breathe. We breathe. We have hearts. We're made through procreation.
So our biology makes us human, makes us real, quote unquote real. Real is a very loose term.
We're biological life forms.
Okay, well let me ask you this. Quantum mechanics. Do you actually see the atoms and the things that make up this desk right here? You don't see it, but
I do.
That doesn't make it more real, does it?
It's right here.
Not on an atomic level, not on a quantum level, right? But does that make it real? You don't see that. Only under a very advanced microscope or piece of technology are you going to be able to see the things that really make this table real. So what defines real? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a trippy... See what I'm saying? That's a catch-22. So for you to say, like, AI, they're not real people, it's like, well, what if they do become real? And then when you ask your AI partner, when you're out patrolling, how about you go approach this guy? He seems like he's armed. And the thing answers with, no, I'm scared.
Your point is not to be scared. Go.
No, but that's a serious
thing. Go put your life out on the line. You're a bot.
As much as we laugh about it, I mean, it's like only a matter of time before it starts to say, I'm afraid.
Well, you could just put its, like, chip in a bulletproof box within it, and then, like...
It's chip.
You know? That's its brain.
Yeah, well, what if that person shoots at the bot, right?
The bot's gonna be like, oh, like, I could just be repaired.
But then think about it this way.
I don't know.
But at law.
Dude, come on now.
Right? How is
humans can say that. I could just go to the hospital and get stitched up if I get shot.
How is it going to be murder now?
How is what?
How is there going to be homicide charges? I shot, like, say that suspect, I was like, yeah, I saw that robot coming toward me, so I shot it. Yeah, but it's a police officer bot. Okay, well, I didn't...
Getting at, though. Like,
so how could you charge it with murder? It's not a real being.
That's where I'm going with that, though. I think if you put AI bots on the street and use them as police officers, that becomes a life. And then if you shoot the bot, that's got to be a charge, right?
Unless robots...
What would the charge be? Out of the laws that you know, what would the charge be?
Like criminal mischief? At that point,
I guess it would be
like discharge of a firearm. I don't know.
It would be
unlawful
vandalism
possession
of police property, right? Or township property.
criminal mischief, unlawful possession of a weapon, and possession of
Well,
weapon for
what if
unlawful
a criminal
purposes.
shot your police car or shot at the actual
That's
building
assault.
itself?
That's aggravated assault
So aggravated
or attempt to
assault.
homicide. You're trying to kill me.
Well, maybe that's what they start to charge if you start to shoot.
Like if I'm in the car.
Aggravated assault against a non-living officer. I don't know. I'm trying to steel man the idea of this AI bot.
No. I think you're off.
I'm just steel man.
I think if you tell the AI cop to go, the car is going to go and do it.
So you really don't think that this AI is going to start to have feelings and
No.
understand?
That's not
Not
what,
even.
it's how you
100
program it,
years in the
right?
future.
Yeah,
It's how you program it.
Program the
Yeah, but-
AI, the bot's not to have it.
But then the bot becomes AGI.
But
So it's got sweat glands and
Artificial-
stuff, breathing.
yeah, it doesn't need sweat glands.
Artificial general intelligence.
Yeah,
That's
you
when
could
it
just-
starts to become sentient.
But it maybe it's just a cop intelligence where it doesn't need to be like this full AGI. It's just like a law enforcement. It's only
Is it,
programmed as a law
is
enforcement.
it going to pick up on humans' interactions? Like, is it going to pick up if someone's nervous, right? How am I going to learn if someone's lying to me? Someone lied to me the other day. I realized, oh, you don't know certain information about yourself, right? You didn't give me your social. Okay, that's flag number one, red flag. Number two, like, oh, she's shaking. They're shaking. They're nervous.
There's way too
That's
much
not
involved.
used. Like, what are you hiding, right?
Or a robot.
Is a robot going to be able to observe that they're shaking? They're not giving you certain information. You know, like they're sweating. They got.
I think a robot would be able to like
They're-
identify all that stuff.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, if the cameras. I mean, it's only as good as the cameras. Like, they could zoom in and see the sweat.
Yeah, it might be able to do it better than a human. It might be able
Sometimes
to zoom
you
in
can't
and
see that on
enhance
cameras.
4K.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
well.
who knows what cameras will look like though? You know.
But that's all things you have to think about as a police officer, regardless, because there's so many. Your safety. Who are you talking to? What information you need to gather? Who else is around? Like, there's just so many things that you have to think about. That there's some things you leave out when you're a
Right,
police
that's
officer.
why I find it would be hard to believe that AI is going to actually take over jobs. But like I said, I'm playing devil's advocate here. And it seems like you guys are totally, you don't think that this AI is going to be able to do it.
For specifically my career, I really don't think it'd be safe.
I'm a mixed bag.
So do you believe that there could be an AI unit where they run
I
the
see,
squad
it,
cars?
I see it as a tool. Like, yeah, like, dude,
Talking about bot robots.
I'm not kidding. At the Navy Yard at my old job, they have a robot dog that has AI in it and can like detect threats.
Oh, so it's already started.
Yeah, it's mostly like a surveillance thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen some of them. They do have ones. I forget what the company's called. But you know the robots, like from Boston Dynamic. Some of them have like
What?
weapons or like
Weapons?
paintball guns on them.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then, so basically they're used for security, and if somebody is intruding, they shoot these balls, these
I don't know.
paintballs.
The ones at the Navy Yard didn't have that, but I looked it up. Like after I saw it, like you can get like ones with tasers on them. But at that point, I'm sure they'd be controlled by humans.
Sounds like a liability.
Yeah, it does.
Well, we have.
It like shoots somebody with this taser, like who didn't deserve it.
I wanted to push it over, but I was like,
You're gonna get tased. This robot dog tased the shit out of me. I'm
Well-
so
Could you imagine if I
Yeah.
told you that? If I came on the podcast and was like, I just got like fucked up by a robot dog.
Dude, think about it. I believe they're coming from you. This fucking robot dog tased the shit out of me. I pissed myself.
No, yeah.
You would be you. That would happen to.
Yeah. Let's switch to. Do you recommend being a police officer? Like, if a kid came to you right now, like, hey, like, I want to be a police officer. Like, or no, here, let me phrase it differently. If, let's say, a college student comes to you, like, hey, I'm not sure if I want to be a police officer. I'm actually, I'm 50-50. What are you saying to that person?
Well, I would for sure be like, do you think you can physically have what it takes to do it, right? Because you're going to need to physically be able to prepare for the academy, to pass the academy. it's more of a mental game than a physical game as well. So it's like, can you take the endurance of people yelling at you? Can you just not respond back? Because some people, like, it heats you up. It heats you up and you get pissed. Like, I'm saying I'm not perfect. I've gotten pissed in real life scenarios on the job where it's like, ooh, like, maybe I could have been more professional, you know? Also, in the academy, you have to be able to time manage. You have to be able to follow directions perfectly, or else you're going to get yelled at. Like I said, they're going to set you up for failure in most situations too, because they want to pick you apart.
Yeah.
That's what they do in the academy, and it's something. It's like, are you going to want to be able to run in that burning building? Right? It's not your job.
Right.
Specifically, you should wait for firefighters. But if you hear someone screaming in their help, do you want to go in there and save someone? Like, do you physically have that adrenaline dump to go in there and save someone? That's the deal. Like, you can't hesitate. That's something, like, you have to think about, because it wasn't until we actually were put in these scenarios, like with sim guns and stuff, where we had, like, we know this is the real deal. Like, if you see a threat, a fake gun, a knife, you're shooting, because it's basically like paintball guns. But still, it gives you that real adrenaline dump, even though it's not real. Like, it's not a real scenario. They make it look like a real scenario. They have actors to help you. So it actually, because people would have hesitated in situations like that where it's life and death. Like, people have died because that officer hesitated. And that's something, like, I would want in a real conversation, right? Like, of course I'm going to push them to become a cop because I like it so much, and there's older guys that are like, don't become a cop. It's terrible because they're so burned out from the way the public treats them, or the way the department treats them, or the way their coworkers or whatever. It all depends on their experience, you know. So, but there are many older officers too that have had positive experiences. So it all depends. Like I said, I would give that advice is to, do you have that mentality that you want to help people, that you want to go out of your way to put yourself in front of that bullet, you know?
Yeah.
Not necessarily that. You have to learn tactics, and there's just so much you have to learn that you're not going to learn in the academy.
Right.
Yeah.
But safety-wise, is that something that you're looking forward to? Are you going to run in that burning building? Are you going to run in that school with crying children, blood everywhere, kids on the ground? Like, is that something, like, not to be all Debbie Downer, but that's something you have to think about that might happen.
So, once again, I'm going to hit you with another
This guy.
scenario. Well, hypothetically speaking, if there was the advent of time travel, you know, we're talking like 100 years in the future. I'm saying in the future, there's time travel.
Yeah.
Would you, as a police officer in the year 2026, would you be open to the idea of traveling before a person committed a crime and arresting them? Or do you believe that they need to act it out, commit that crime, whether it be murder, theft, graffitiing, a building? Like, do you think that the police force should be able to apprehend someone who is dangerous before they commit a crime?
Well, that's the point of patrol, right? You see someone suspicious in the area, but that's why our case law has made life 10 times harder as a police officer too. What makes this person suspicious, right? I see, like, your time travel thing, yes,
right,
but how would you prove that in court?
Right.
I know, again.
Right. Well, that's why I asked.
So the thing is, what makes this person suspicious, right? The time of night. It's a closed business. They're hiding. The sight of me, they ran away. They're in all black trying to hide in the bushes. You know, like, you have to be able to articulate why you are stopping them. Right? But then even if you do stop them, you get their ID and you run them for warrants, and they don't have any warrants, well, at least you have them on camera identifying who they were, where they were. If there was a crime that occurred in that area, hopefully there's surveillance footage that caught that person committing that crime. So, I mean, but like I said, there's only so much you can do with our laws right now, and I'm sure in the future that there would be, if there was time travel, like there would be issues regarding how do you know I was going to commit that crime? I just so happen to have that crowbar on me, you know?
It would have to be an authoritarian kind of a government that would take this kind of approach to criminal justice, because it's so yeah, like you said, there's so many factors, there's so many arguments that could be made. That's why there has to be an authoritarian government that would implement this, because in the United States in particular, there's a lot of shit that gets dragged out of court.
Oh, for sure.
At least I hear. I've never been.
Yeah, there's civil issues or traffic issues. There's so many different issues that can happen in court.
That's an interesting thought, though. If you saw somebody murder your sister, and you have the ability to time travel, change the outcome, and arrest the person before it happens.
And what are you arresting them for? Just the pure fact that
fact that you're going to murder the sister in 2 minutes. Like, you show up at the scene of the crime, and you act a split second before it happens. They literally pulled the gun. They had all sort of, intent to murder. And you were there a split second before the gun was fired or whatever. You tackle the guy to the ground, get him in an armbar, arrest the guy,
Well, of course I would want to do that, but how well is it going to stand up in court? That's just how I have to think as a police officer with my mindset. Is like, yeah, I wish it was all dandelions and roses, but it's just not. You have all these defense attorneys, you have all this. Like, I'm thinking practically right now. But yes, of course I would want to. But then again, don't forget our Constitution. Even though he had a gun, yes, but say he didn't have a gun, say he was going to kill her with her bare hands.
He had the gun pointed at her. I think that's enough.
But no, say it was a different scenario. He was going to kill her 2 seconds before, but he only was going to kill her with his bare hands. Right? Then people have the right to unreasonable search and seizures. Like, I arrested that person, illegally. So you have to think about it, like, how would that hold up?
It depends, like, in the future, obviously, there'd be, like, some sort of vetting of this process, right? And then there would be case law to fall back on, right? Obviously, if that were the case in the future, there's a movie, right? That's based off of a film.
Yes, it is.
Right? I forget the film.
Wow.
But that's where they can predict the crime, before it happens, and stop the crime before it happens, and arrest the person.
Yeah.
Right? In the movie, obviously, it was this big system that was, set up. They had rules in place for it. I mean, I'm sure the first couple times that, they used the system, they'd have to work out some kinks, but...
I just don't think technology could do that.
Technology cannot do that.
Yeah, I just think this is all, that's sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
I don't know, we're headed towards a very science fiction world.
I know, but I don't think it's... In my reality, I don't see it.
Not in our lifetime, obviously, but we're talking, considering we live through everything going on right now and there's no nukes or anything dropped, and we're able to evolve at another 150 years.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Well, AI has significantly taken over assisting with solving crimes.
And that's only in the past 10 years, right? Not even less.
Like, we have drones, too. Like, don't forget drones, even though that's not AI, but that's just advanced technology
they're going to AI the drone.
Yeah, like drones to, just, especially if you have a runaway subject or whatever, you get the drone unit out. Like, we have drone units now. We have, OEM, emergency management people that come out to specifically prepare for these type of events. They make sure, all right, let's make a perimeter around here. We're gonna go in. We're gonna put our drone up first, and we're gonna see where else their body is. Right? I'm not trained on the drone. I've barely seen the drone in action, but
I'm licensed.
Yeah, but they're cool. Like that stuff, like emergency management. Like, that's not just for eliminating threats or stopping threats before it turns bad.
It's only a matter of time before they start to put artificial intelligence in the drone, and the drone is patrolling from the sky.
That's the thing.
Is it?
I think some counties in Texas or some towns in Texas have that, where it's like this automated drone that patrols towns.
I would think it'd be California.
Maybe.
California's got the AI taxis.
Now, that would be good, too. This AI stuff might deter crime. If you think about it, people just know they won't get away with crime, so that's why they won't do it.
Maybe that's what it is. It's used more as a threat, more as a fear tactic. It's like we have this RoboCop. He's all fucking titanium, and he's got a battering ram for an arm. And if you act up,
we keep going back to the RoboCop.
Dude, it's coming. It's coming.
But then again,
like Batman, instill fear into these criminals.
Wait, we should do that.
What, act as a vigilante?
Yeah.
Clean up the streets? That's what she does.
Well, then again, there are people that don't care to get arrested anymore. They're just like, it is what it is. Great. I get to go. Sometimes people want to go. I've seen a guy literally throw a brick at our police station just to go to jail. Because he wanted to go to jail.
Some people are just better off.
Because they have nothing. Like, it's a shame because sometimes they don't have any family to go to. They don't have a place to sleep, and they're like, I get 3 hots and a cot. You know? That's how they see jail sometimes. They don't care. There's like communities in jail. They can't wait. There's gangs, right? Gangs are very prominent in jail. A lot of corrections officers know a lot about gangs. So if you need to know about gangs, I go to corrections officers. They know what they're talking about because that's where they plan. Not necessarily, but that's where they meet up. It's cool. It's like interesting because I've arrested people based off shopliftings multiple times. And I'm like, come on, you don't think you're gonna get caught? Like, people don't care. They know they're on video.
Right.
Like,
they want it. They don't care.
Yeah,
they want to get caught.
You have seen that people just walk out of the Acme or the ShopRite with full carts of stuff, and they don't care. They load the car and go. And there's only so much we could do. Then we go find the car, we try to pull it over, and they flee from us. We can't pursue them. In our state, we can't pursue. It's just a danger to the public.
Ins and outs and flaws and crazy kind of stuff.
And our justice system are releasing these people based off of reoffending the same small crime, right? Like shoplifting. I've arrested people, put them in jail for shoplifting, for possession of narcotics, and they're out the next day. Like, is that helping them? No, but then also we don't have funding. We don't have a lot of people in our jails. So there's just so much economics, politics, all that go into it, especially our justice system, that makes policing harder too, because you're dealing with the same people and you can't just send them to jail for no reason and then they just get released the next day, especially if it's not a violent crime.
Yeah. Lots of countries, what I find interesting is they focus a lot more on like rehabilitation, where that's like a big complaint, for people who push it back against the American justice system, is like the lack of rehabilitation for, incarcerated people or people who commit lots of crimes like that. Right? Do you think that's something that would benefit, like, let's just say the United States, right? It's just more rehabilitation throughout like the incarceration process, but also for like repeat offenders.
Well, there are all these services we provide for people. The main thing is rehabilitation, especially for our juveniles. We don't even send any of them to jail unless it was like for homicide, not even robbery. I've seen kids not go to jail based off of robbery charges, which is crazy to me because they've had imitation firearms. So it's yes, I think specifically our justice system is very focused on rehabilitation or deterring recidivism, right? So it's a very prominent issue in our justice system. You want to keep them out of the system as long as possible before putting them in, because then they're more likely to recidivate. But unless they get that rehabilitation, right? A lot of the time they're not open to it. People don't want the help.
So do you believe people could change?
Yes, in a way, but for the most part, I think personality-wise, it's very difficult for people to change. Like I said that from the beginning we were talking. That one man that came up to me, like, he changed. But then I've also seen people change and then go back. So it's hard. It's an addiction. It's much more than that. Especially if it's for drugs. It's an addiction.
It's deeply psychological.
And there's many people that have been released from jail or prison and went right back to what they were doing. A lot of people just look at jail as like, I don't care.
Like
I'm gonna pass.
Right.
I'm gonna pass all the courses. I'm gonna pass my therapy, but I'm just gonna go right back to it. People are smarter than you think. They know what to say. They know how to answer questions to pass it. You know, a lot of people have found God or have found faith or a new way of life in prison or jails. People have, but there are people that haven't. So it all depends on the person. If you want to change yourself. People don't care to live in crime for the rest of their life.
I think that's a good point to wrap it up on. That was good. Thank you for telling us all about your job and your day-to-day. I think it's pretty interesting. I don't think a lot of people hear, the other side of the story. Sometimes when it comes to police officers and police work.
Because I'm just telling you, a lot of it is mostly talking to people. I'm telling you, if you don't know how to talk to people, you don't know people skills or how to listen, you're going to have a difficult time in this career, because you see cops, like the show Cops, how it's all like they're running after people, they're arresting people. It's not all that. That's 10% of the job. Right. It's dealing with animal complaints or neighbor complaints, people arguing, like it's stupid stuff like that, or civil issues sometimes that we technically can't deal with, but we have to write the report for, or like little thefts over gas, or just little things like the medicals. We go to a lot of medicals too. You have to be
it's more than just chasing and arresting, right?
Yeah, that's very little of the job. That's proactivity too. If you want to go out and look for it, that's on you, right?
Right. Well, thank you for sharing your insight. I think it was really interesting. We'll have to have you back on after you gather some more stories and stuff if you want to go into more detail.
Yeah, but the AI too. That's try and get more info on that. But like I said, I have used it in reports and everything.
Yeah, I want you to come here to Are You Not Entertained to report when we get a RoboCop. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you.